Oh, hi there. Are you here for another guitar lesson? Excellent. Now, before we get started, I do need to issue some clarification from last time, because last time when I was playing through Cheating Song, we got to the solo, and I said this is where Paul takes his cock rock solo. Now, I want to be clear. Paul is a swaggering cock rocker in the tradition of Jimmy Page in the best possible sense. I mean that as a compliment. But the solo on Cheating Song that he actually recorded was not cock rock. It was actually, because cock rock would not have been good on that song. What he did was this thing that was like Santana meets Santeria, which is exactly what needed to happen. It sounded like something off fucking Abraxas. Like he shreds this Hispanic solo, and he fucking plays wind chimes halfway through the solo. You get these wind chimes from like his parents' house or something, and he's like shredding, and then there's like wind chimes. The solo is fucking insane. And so there's a lesson there for all of us, which is do what the song wants to do. You know, if the song calls for cock rock, cock rock. If the song calls for Santana Abraxas, do Santana Abraxas. You know what I mean? So, anyway, you know, and that was great that he did something that was germane to the song. Because what you don't want to have is something like John Lennon playing like Julia. It's just this thing about the beauty and horror of his conflicted relationship with his mother, and then George Lynch from Dokken comes out and does some whammy bar shit. You don't want that. You know what I mean? Do what the song wants you to do. I don't think Julia even has a solo. Alright, so today we're going to work on Can't You See by the Marshall Tucker Band. I'm conflicted about this song because on the one hand I love it because with Shotguns Whiskey we used to do Can't You See What That Whiskey's Doing to Me, and we closed the show at Norm's with that, and it was just a beautiful moment, and Franklin just does a great job singing that. So that's a super positive memory I have of that song. Negative memory I have of it is being in this bar in Santa Fe, and it's some like fucking baby boomer bar, and of course there's some young broke baby boomers who are like guy with guitar who runs the open mic there or something. They're playing this cheesy ass version of Can't You See, and he's on the 12 string, and I wanted to put a gun in my mouth. There was nothing special about it. It just made me want to. It's just an easy song to jam on. Just while we're learning it today, it's super easy. The actual song by the Marshall Tucker Band, I haven't heard it that many times. You know, really, those are the two. I mostly think about Whiskey or this Santa Fe travesty. Okay, so our first chord here is D. Now, anytime we can just call it D. If it's a major chord, we don't specify. We just call it D. So when I say D, I mean D major. If it's minor or seventh, we have to specify. So the way you make D is you do not play these two strings right here. These are muted, however you can mute them. I would probably hang my thumb over to mute them. Or you can dodge them, however you want to mute that. We're going to play these highest four strings. And so you play open D, that's the root note, and then you play this thing right here with pointer is on this fret. Middle man right here, and ring man right here on the highest string. So it's now if you want to make D minor, what you're going to do is you're going to sag this highest thing down one, which is what you're always doing with minor. You're sagging the third down the fret. So this is D minor. You can hear the sadness, and then D seventh instead of D, it's like D seventh is this, which is just kind of adding some. Seventh is just adding some instability and some raunch into it. Versus. Okay, so that's D. The next chord is C. You probably know these chords. C, it's like this. You do not play this thick one. I'm going to mute that with my thumb right here, my Dorito orange thumb. Ring man goes right here on the third fret by the dot. Pointer goes on this next string up. This one right here, this string rings out, and then you put your pointer on this thing right here. So you've got this open, and then this, and then the high E is open. So that's C major. Very easy chord to make. Now, if you want to make a cheesy ass C, I'll give you a tip here. You take this pointer off, and then you get this thing called the C. It's a major seventh. It's different than the seventh I just showed you. This type of seventh is also called the cocktail seventh, and it's like, and you feel the cocktail, like you're in some cocktail lounge, like, hey, everybody, where are you from? You know what I mean? You're like, I mean, that is just, I guess it's more like California 70s seventh.
It's like the Love Boat.
It's like the Love Boat, exactly. So anyway, I love that one. And then G, is going to be this thing right here. This is the last note. We're going to do D, C, and then G. This is the last chord. So we got middle man right here on the 3rd fret with the dot, pointer right here, and then you probably know these chords. And then ring man is right here again on the 3rd fret right here. So this is how most people make G. I mean, there's another way to do it. This is how most people do it. Play all 6 strings. I don't have any fun facts to throw in with G because I really don't know. What if we take this off? What would it sound like? I never tried this. Kind of weird. All right. Anyway, so we're gonna so there's also with Marshall Tucker. There's also the flute lick that Paul, when we played, he plays the flute lick. I don't even know the flute lick, man. This is an easy song though, which is why we're doing it. The way Marshall Tucker makes it interesting is because they have the flute lick, the guitar, they shred a little bit, they have solo vocal, they have chorus, they have the guy playing the congas, they have the bass player getting a little rowdy later on. So it's like they find ways to milk the most out of it. But anyway, so here we go. We're going to play D, C, that G, then do the D. Can't you see what that G has been doing to D? So you go back to the D. Can't you D? Can't you see what that G been doing to D? So that's it. And so there's the flute lick, and the way they started is this gets into what we talked about last time, the arpeggiation. They kind of started off like this, like. So what we have is the left hand does not move and the right hand is getting frisky by making the individual notes, which is exactly the same thing as the cheating song issue last time, that it becomes a type of lead guitar sort of melody, but it's like. Station, something now, something. Never told me goodbye. I'll jump off, nobody's gonna know. Can't you see? Can't you see what that whiskey been doing to me? Can't you see? Can't you see what that whiskey been doing to me? Gonna find me a hole in the wall, I'll crawl inside and die. Talking about my lady, mean old woman, Lord, never told me goodbye. Can't you see? Can't you see that whiskey been doing to me? Can't you see? Can't you see that whiskey been doing to me? Gonna take us southbound, far as I can. Ain't never coming back. Ride me a freight train all the way to Georgia now, till that train it run out of track. I love the idea of a train running out of track. Can't you see? Can't you see what that whiskey been doing to me? Can't you see? Can't you see what that whiskey anyway, it's G, C, D, excuse me, D, C, G, back to D. And so then you start over on D. So you're on D like twice as long as you're on these other ones. So that's pretty much it for that one. Sorry I did not, I cannot remember what that first verse was, but you get the general idea. So I'd say, man, anybody can play through this thing. You know these chords already. And then that's 2 songs, another song under your belt right there. So until next time, keep it real.